ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, damas and herren. Thank you for being here at the 8th edition of CinemAsia Film Festival. My name is Lorna, and I'm the festival director. This is my first year. Be kind to me. I'm a little bit nervous, but you're all friends here. Thank you so much for being here. And thank you, Doris Young, the founder of CinemAsia, for creating this festival as a platform to showcase the best of Asian cinema to the Dutch public. A lot of thank yous tonight. Please bear with me. CinemAsia is very lucky to have our funds and sponsors to help us carry through and to enable us to put this festival together. So a big thank you to Amsterdam Fonds voor de Kunst, the Netherlands Film Fonds, the Prince Bernhard Culture Fonds, the Taipei Representative Office in the Netherlands, International, the Korean Embassy in the Netherlands, Cinefil, Namki, Gotan, Taxi Electric, Vox Hotel, and Oriental Merchant. Thank you to Criterion. This is our new home this year, and the whole team here in Criterion has made us feel so much at home and has enabled us to give us a solid home base to make CinemAsia special this year. The programming is divided to competition, official selection, and the in-focus program. Each film has been carefully selected for a diverse audience to showcase a broad spectrum of the most exciting Asian films. We are grateful to all the filmmakers who have shared their film with us and who are here today. CinemAsia Film Lab is the platform for new filmmakers to tell Asian stories. We select 3 directors with projects and nurture them with a mentor, this year with Jimmy Tai, to guide them from script writing, shooting to post-production process, plus a camera by Camelot. Thank you very much, Camelot. This year, our Film Lab filmmakers are Roshi Marcos Odik, Andrea van der Bos, Amba Surasti, and Robert Maruanaya, and Patrick Lois. They may be here today. If you're here, please put up your hands. Yay! The result of the Film Lab films moved me really deeply, because being new here in the Netherlands on the topic of being Asian in Holland was something that was very touching for me. Thanks to the esteemed jury members, Ms. Oh Jung-won, producer from South Korea, critic Baron Jan Bokting, and director, scriptwriter John van der Velde. They will select films from the competition films and give a jury award winner. Not a very tough job. I think the films are pretty decent. The audience will decide on a winner too, so as audience members, you've gotten a slip. Please vote for your favorite films. A big smiley, non-smiley, you decide after the films. After Amsterdam, we will tour the festival on tour in Eindhoven, Den Haag, and Rotterdam. This is part of the outreach for CinemAsia to help bring films and discussions beyond Amsterdam, and in the future we hope to go to more cities. Please come to the other films that are screening in the festivals. Bring a friend or 20 or 30. Your support will be very much appreciated, and I promise you that the films will charm and challenge your senses. They are smart and sexy. They are wild and wonderful. They are sweet and sad. They were spicy. They will open your heart and widen our scope of understanding Asian cultures and deepening our overall connections of universal values, regardless of where we come from. In addition, we have food and films. There's a rainbow karaoke. There's a bazaar this weekend. And tomorrow, we have the Power Producers panel and Mr. Jean-Jacques Hano, who will talk about the making of his beautiful film, The Last Wolf. I wrote in a blog that this all started with love. And without the love of cinema, without the love of diversity, without the love of food, we like to eat a lot in CinemAsia, and the love of people coming together, CinemAsia would not have been possible. I must thank the team CinemAsia, sounds like Team America. Team CinemAsia for putting in all their time, effort, energy, not sleeping, working overtime, tweeting and Facebooking like crazy. Thank you so much, everybody. Without you, we would not have this festival. Thank you all. Now, to the film event of tonight. We are screening The Last Wolf by Jean-Jacques Hano as our opening film, and we are very privileged that Mr. Hano has graced us with his presence here. thank you for coming to Amsterdam and sharing the film with us. 2 reasons why the film is our opening film. First, it's a very beautiful film. There's something in the film that has retained the magic of cinema we don't see a lot now. We see a lot of CGI trickeries that are happening in our screens, and we like them too. But the magic of what has been done in The Last Wolf is something that I feel is very, very special. I remember every scene in it, because it's real. You feel the emotions of coming up from every character, every grass that you see, the wind blowing in your face. You feel everything within your body and your mind. It is a film that embraces the magnificence of nature. The action sequences are not just breathtaking, but profound and emotional. And the second reason is that the film represents what CinemAsia's mission is to bridge the gap between East and West. A very prolific European filmmaker and crew with a great Chinese story and cast that fits snugly into what we aim to do in CinemAsia is to build bridges between the East and West. The Dutch Prime Minister was in China recently and signed deals to enhance cooperation between Asia and the Netherlands. And with more than 500,000 Dutch Asians here, this is a welcome move to bring the Dutch closer to the fastest and biggest growing region in the world. I'm nearly done. The film will be released by CineArt in the Netherlands this summer, but you're very lucky you get to be the first audience to see this film here. Enjoy the film. I will please stay after the screening for a special exclusive Q&A with the director himself. Now I will leave you in the good hands of Mr. Raymond van der Boogaard, who will be introducing the film and the director. Enjoy CinemAsia. See you around.
Good evening. Jean-Jacques Hano is a French film director born in 1943, but this actually is a pretty limited description of what he is, because he is not so much perhaps a French filmmaker as an international filmmaker. We all know what we normally understand being French film directors, people who fancy the cinéma d'auteur, and who more or less make films always, or very often, in the same vein. This is not completely accurate in describing Jean-Jacques Hano, because he made very different films, and not only that, but he also went abroad. Already his first film, 1976, called La Victoire en Chantant, was set not in France proper, but in West Africa. It was a comedy against the bitter background of French colonialism in West Africa, and he won an Oscar for that. And since then, many of his films actually have been international co-productions, which, of course, the price for that perhaps is that you do not always realize that the films that you have seen and fancied are made by the same man. For example, The Name of the Rose with Sean Connery was an Hano film in '86. 7 Years in Tibet in '97 with Brad Pitt was an Hano film. And more recently, Days of the Falcon with Antonio Banderas. Perhaps I think his most successful film in terms of entries, by the way, was a very French film, the steamy adaptation of L'Amant, the novel by Marguerite Duras. I said that he, perhaps, cinéaste d'auteur was not an adequate description, but this is not completely fair, because if you look at his films, you see indeed certain themes coming back that we'll also see in The Last Wolf. There is, for example, a sort of fundamental quest for the identity of man, a sort of anthropological interest in what it is to be a man, as is, for example, obvious in Quest for Fire from '81, which is one of the very few films set in prehistory and with serious intentions, not as a farce, but really trying to find out what prehistoric man was about. And there are several films like The Last Wolf, are centered or give a prominent role to animals. The Bear, for example, has that from '88, and also a film of Art Tigers called Two Brothers. And now, apart from him being a French and a cosmopolitan film director, tonight we meet him too as a Chinese film director in his very surprising and wonderful and beautiful and engaging production that is The Last Wolf. A monster production in many ways, with 200 horses, 2 herds of wolves, and 480 technicians. Ladies and gentlemen, meet the director, Jean-Jacques Hano.
Thank you for this warm welcome. Now, what I want to add, I won't be long because you're here to see a movie, and I'll be back for questions and answers at the end of the show. You know, I'm very happy to see people interested in Asian movies. I have shot 4 movies in that region. I started with The Lover, L'Amant, that I shot in Saigon and in the Mekong Delta. I shot in Cambodia, in Siem Reap, with tigers and actors, a movie called Two Brothers. I shot about 7 years in Tibet, in India and Nepal. The rest of it I had to shoot it in Argentina because I got very angry Chinese authorities. But you know, things are changing because I've been very welcome for this last movie that I entirely shot in China, in the very northern region of Mongolia. Every single image you're going to see has been shot in that place, in Mongolia. All the wolves you're going to see are real wolves. All the actors are real actors as well. They are not made by computer. They are Chinese actors, becoming very, very famous actors. And the people playing the Mongol are real Mongol actors as well, and the real Mongols. So I'll be back. There are many questions, but one I want to reassure you: the wolves are now very happy. They got a Canadian passport. They were all born in Mongolia. They were born in, more precisely, in Harbin, which is in Dumbe province. But now they live very happily with their trainer in a beautiful ranch with a beautiful view on the Rocky Mountain north of Calgary. So they're all very well, and they wish you ooh, ooh, evening.